And welcome back. You're watching What Now? Millions took to the streets this weekend in one of the largest protest movements in recent U.S. history, the No Kings demonstration, targeting President Trump's use of executive power. From New York to Los Angeles and hundreds of smaller towns in between, protesters rallied peacefully, unified in their message: no president is above the people. Democrats see opportunity in the massive turnout, but face deep internal divisions and low national approval ratings as they head into critical state elections next month. While the White House brushed off the protest, President Trump's approval numbers remain underwater, giving Democrats a potential opening. But with the government shutdown entering its fourth week, pressure is rising on both parties, and the question remains, can Democrats turn protest into power? As protests sweep across the nation under the banner of No Kings, millions are voicing deep concern over President Trump's growing use of executive power and his impact on American democracy. But what do these demonstrations mean for Black communities in the U.S. and for America's image abroad? Joining us now is Melvin Foote, founder and president of the Constituency for Africa, a leading voice on U.S.-Africa relations and Black diaspora engagement. Mr. Foote, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So just following conversations in the U.S., critics have warned that some of the moves by President Trump's administration are unconstitutional and a threat to American democracy. However, President Trump has responded, and he says that his actions are necessary to rebuild a country in crisis, and he also dismissed accusations that he's behaving like a dictator as historical. I just wanted to ask you, from your own opinion, is President Trump really pushing the boundaries of presidential authority?
Well, that's no question he has. And many of the moves that he has made have directly affected people of color, African Americans, African immigrants, Latinos, and other people of color. We see clear evidence that our healthcare is being eroded, the cost of food is going higher. Everything that affects Black people or people of color has been hurt by this administration. So what we saw on Saturday is a reflection of that.
Now, ahead of the demonstrations, we saw Trump allies accusing the protesters of being linked with the far-right Antifa movement, and they also condemned what they call the Hate America rally. Can that claim be substantiated, and what does that mean for the credibility of the protest?
Absolutely not. If you were there, what you saw was all kinds of people. You saw young people, you saw old people, you saw all kinds of people there saying, the same message. We're all concerned about the state of democracy in our country. Clearly, these are not people who are hiding in the bush or hiding in the shadows, ready to cite insurrection and revolution. These were everyday Americans, people who have jobs, people who have families, people who go about their day trying to build our country and to make our country what it should be, what we aspire to be. So to think that these are radicals who were ready to take over the government is absolutely absurd.
And this protest wasn't limited to America alone. We also saw demonstrations in Europe. There was a demonstration in Berlin, in Madrid, London, and Rome. And people were showing solidarity with their American counterparts. We also saw similar scenes in Toronto, Canada. What does this mean what does this say about how the world now sees America, especially the administration of President Trump?
Well, we all are surprised by what President Trump has done. We all expected some bad times. We knew what the first term was like, and we certainly wasn't expecting anything different of that. But he has really scaled up dramatically efforts to tear down the U.S. government, even to make the country unstable. You have National Guard troops in all the cities, including here in Washington, all over the place, just walking up and down the street with guns and all this kind of thing. A thing that we never had thought we would ever see again. So I think that the world is starting to push back on this. There's nothing good that could come out of this. We think that international assistance, USAID has been destroyed. We see efforts to fight malaria and tuberculosis and AIDS and so forth around the world has been diminished. We think that some of the things that have been done with this administration, we're going to be paying for the next 50, 100 years to try to get back to where we were.
And back home, Republicans seem to be downplaying the significance of the marches. They're also downplaying the scale of the turnout, and along with Trump's net approval rating, which we understand are now really poor in major opinion polls. Does this hint at a democratic opportunity to rebound from defeat in the midterm election?
I think so. We expected the Republicans to rally. They've become somewhat of a cult, and no matter what Trump does, they're supportive of it. I've always been bipartisan. In my work, I work with Republicans and Democrats, especially on issues of Africa. But now it seems like everything that Trump does, no matter how crazy it is, here you go to the Republican Party, backing it. So what we see as the Republican Party today is not what we've seen as the Republican Party, say, 10 years ago. This is a whole nother dimension that we're dealing with, and it has global repercussions. So I think the pushback, and you look at the number, you call it what you want to call. Everybody knows all the major cities in the United States are packed with people. I mean, it could have been 700, 800, a million people here in Washington. Just everywhere you look, you saw people. I was here for the Million Man March, so I know what a million men look like. This one rivals that. So, you say what you want to say, but there's a lot of people, not only in the United States, but around the world, as you indicated, are concerned about this. And we think we have to push back against fascism and efforts to, so-called become a king here in the United States. Who would have thought this would ever be an issue that we would be talking about?
But can Democrats leverage this moment really to regain some level of control? There is also internal divisions within the party coming off the back of the last election. We know that once there is a government shutdown, there's usually consequences for all parties. I'm just wondering what this also mean for Democrats going forward.
Well, it's hard to say. If some of the Democrats, right now the U.S. government is closed. It's been closed for quite some time now, and it's going to probably remain closed for weeks to come. But if any of the Democrats seem like they're ready to negotiate with the Republicans to reopen the government, they're going to face a pushback in the ballot box, and they know that. So they're kind of in a tricky position. On the one hand, we want our government to reopen, certainly. But on the other hand, it can't be seen as negotiating health care benefits to American people, can't be negotiating education benefits and that kind of thing. So it's tricky for the Democrats. The Democrats have a long way to go to get reorganized, regalvanized for this upcoming midterm election and for the next presidential election. So the answer to your question is I don't know. I do hope and I aspire that the Democrats will get it together, will come up with leaders who can stand up and build coalitions among other Democrats so that we can retake our government.
Melvin Foote, always a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time as we continue to follow up on developments in the U.S.
Thank you.